We got to know Rafael Barlowe last week, NBA analyst, and what a week it's been since then, including OKC winning Game 7 last night for their first ever World Championship. Rafael, the draft around the corner, too, and so much more to get to. But, there was the injury with Halliburton. But this OKC Thunder team, weren't they pretty much the best from start to finish and just kind of validated that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's unfortunate that some are going to say, well, they won because of injuries. But like you said, they were best from start to finish, and they actually exceeded my own expectations. I thought they needed another year. I knew they were young. I knew they were talented, but I thought they needed one more year to climb, to get to the mountaintop. But here they are. I mean, and they look like they're going to be here to stay unless the apron has other thoughts.
Yeah, but they are, but they're set up to kind of navigate that, aren't they?
Yeah, they do have a lot of picks. It's going to get expensive. I think Gilgeous-Alexander can sign for like a contract that could pay him like $80 million. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, they both are in the same class. They're probably going to get max extensions. And then after that, I think that's when their role players are going to get expensive. We see it happen all the time. You win. People value your role players, but they do have a lot of picks. So they just are going to have to replace those guys that played a key role with younger guys on rookie contracts.
What were your thoughts overall about Indiana started well last night, obviously, and then the injury, but still Oklahoma City was probably going to wear them down, or you would think. What were your overall thoughts about what the Pacers were able to accomplish this year and get to that point where they were right on the verge of winning it?
They exceeded expectations. I mean, they were a team that a lot of people weren't talking about, maybe because it's a smaller market team, but they definitely exceeded expectations. And it's just unfortunate to have their season and even next season just be heavily impacted by Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles. But if you're Indiana, you have to be happy with what you saw. And it's just crazy to me to watch a Game 7 of an NBA Finals, and it was like T.J. McConnell ISO plays and key stretches of the game. Like, I don't think that was on anybody's bingo card.
This has been a brutal playoffs for injuries extending into next year, hasn't it? I mean, looking at some of the star power that's taken a hit, just even looking at 2026.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've probably seen like the stuff on social media that Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, and Halliburton all wear number 0. They all have the same injury. So that's pretty crazy. But I mean, I think there's some teams like Philadelphia. They were injured last year who have to come into this offseason thinking like, we have a shot at going to the finals next year. Boston's going to be down. Indiana's going to be without Halliburton. The Bucks are going to be depleted. So I think there's some teams that, I mean, they're not rejoicing that someone got hurt, but they have to feel good about their chances due to injuries and parity.
Yeah, that's one thing I think that maybe, gets lost in the shuffle of there's a lot of people lamenting the fact that there's not a team from New York, LA, or Chicago, in the finals. You're like, well, nobody's canceling their NBA TV deal because there was Oklahoma City and Indiana. The basketball is as good as it can possibly be right now because of the parity around the league. I mean, there are teams that are maybe in the top 15 of the draft that could see themselves hop into the playoffs next year and make a run because it's so balanced.
What do you want?
What's that really good non-alcoholic beer I keep hearing about?
Do you have that really great non-alcoholic beer that I keep seeing?
Do you have a non-alcoholic beer that actually
tastes good?
It's athletic. You're holding it.
You mean athletic? You're looking at it.
I think you mean athletic.
It's athletic. Ask for it.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I just think the issue is a lot of people grew up watching Dynasty. So if you grew up in the 80s, it was Boston and LA. If you grew up watching basketball in the 90s, you saw the Michael Jordan era. The 2000s between the Spurs and the Lakers. And I think we've had, 7 consecutive finals where there's been a new winner. So parity is actually new and different for the NBA. I mean, even back before that, I was way, way too young, but my dad used to tell me the Celtics, like, you just knew they were going to win every single year. So It's obviously different than NFL, where parity has been part of the NFL for the last, I guess you can count the Patriots run, but you feel like in the NFL has always been at least somewhat parity. But the NBA just seems like it's been the same teams for the last 30 years prior to, I guess, the last 7.
So as much as the Pacers are just miserable, and rightfully so, still no NBA title coming so close to this, the Thunder have been kind of knocking at the door a little while. It just depends on what year and how loud it was, right? But armed with a boatload of draft picks, all this maneuvering, just can you speak to the job that Sam Presti has done with this franchise and just the way this team has been embraced, the big payoff there for those OKC faithful have welcomed them with open arms, and obviously they're now so beloved there.
Yeah, I mean, he's just done an incredible job of, making the right moves and then acquiring picks. He took a beating for the situation after the James Harden deal where I think they offered him like 59, but Houston offered him 82 million, and seeing like Westbrook and Harden and Kevin Durant all go on and win MVPs. And so I think that he benefited by being in a smaller market like OKC. I don't know if you're in New York, the fans are going to be that patient, especially if you've had 3 guys who you had in your system go on and win MVPs. But it's just a testament to Oklahoma City's ownership group. They trusted the vision, they trusted the plan, and now they're benefiting from it.
Who would have ever thought that we still don't think Harden and Westbrook have not won a world title?
Yep.
They've won everything else. They've been on the Olympic teams, gold medals and all that, but neither one of them, Durant's got his 2 and he was traded. We'll discuss that with you, but neither one of those, Westbrook or Harden, have won a world title, no matter where they played.
Yeah. Harden came close. Well, he got to the conference finals, but he just happened to be at his prime in the West when Golden State was at their strongest. So to me, he was a guy that I think he got to the conference finals twice and lost to the Warriors both times. But I'm a big Harden fan. I'm a Harden apologist, even though he has his struggles in the playoffs. But it's just wrong time. And sometimes you have to be lucky. You have to be healthy. And the year that Houston had their best opportunity to beat Golden State was when Chris Paul hurt his hamstring.
What do you think as the draft approaches on Thursday is the biggest news we're going to see now that the KD thing is essentially done?
Where Ace Bailey falls, where he goes. I've heard, and even just from my own opinion, I knew like once I saw that he declined to work out for Philadelphia, the first thing that came to my mind is this is strategic. And I ended up talking to some people, and they're on the same page. It's a better situation for Ace. Philadelphia, like I mentioned, could be in win now mode. And I think that Ace's camp has some preferred landing spots, and they're willing to take the PR hit and the financial loss to get to the spot where they feel that is most comfortable for him, his long-term success, his ability to play minutes, and also set himself up for the big second contract.
Well, his name's been mentioned a couple times now. Let's get into the KD trade. And he's on there, the panel there at Fanatics Fest in New York, and word comes down, and it was cool to see like that initial reaction, especially from the crowd. But your thoughts on the mega deal, sending him to Houston, and just all that's involved, and obviously how this works out for Houston and KD in the long run.
I like it. I like it a lot. Houston was a team that, even though they were the number 2 seed, I don't think everybody believed in them being ready. But now they have a legitimate closer. They have some offensive firepower. They are going to be able to defend. Coach Ime Udoka demands, you to defend. But I think KD gives them a dynamic that they were missing, which is a closer, an efficient scorer. He gives them more length. And I think the shooting is going to be very, very important for Houston's offense.
Rafael, we brought this up. This is his 5th team. He's one of the best players ever. He's won the world titles, but he's been traded a lot. Is that more of he still has value, so people want him because he's just above, he takes you over the top, or because of his contract?
I just think it's the era that we live in. I mean, Shaq played on a bunch of teams. I mean, people forget Shaq played in Cleveland and Boston and Phoenix. So I just think it's the new era. The days of the Dirks and Kobe's is going to be rare. And I think for Durant, I think that it's just weird. Like, he had everything in Golden State. He wasn't happy, wanted to do his own thing in Brooklyn. That situation like completely fell apart. Then Phoenix was a disaster, but teams still want him. Like he at 37 years old, I don't think there's anybody in the history of the NBA off the top of my head that has commanded a lottery pick, a young player in Jalen Green, and just all the draft capital that the Suns received for a 37-year-old. So that means people still value him and how much he can still play.
I brought this up earlier. Paul countered with Jalen Brunson was a second-round pick. There's a lot of guys that have been second-round picks that are very, very good, Hall of Famers, I'm sure. But it was interesting to me as I'm reading the trade that they have 5 second-round picks being sent.
Yeah.
Like 5. I mean, it's like
Monopoly money.
Yeah, it's like weird. I mean, 1 or 2 second-round picks, are those really – I mean, they must have some value, but is that more like just trading numbers you don't need?
Yeah, no, I think the second round picks have value. I mean, the Jalen Brunsons and the Manu Ginobilis and Nikola Jokic's, I mean, those are extremely, extremely rare. But I think, maybe you can move multiple second rounders up for a first round pick. Like, for example, this year, the Hornets are picking at 33 and 34. Maybe there's a team that doesn't want to pay the guaranteed salary for a first round pick, and they decide, all right, we'll trade down to get to 33 and 34 because we can get these contracts we can get these players for cheaper, and we don't think there's that much of a difference between pick 25 and 35. So I think there could be a situation where all of those second round picks could be packaged to move up for a first round pick or 2.
Don't shoot the messenger, okay, Paul. But with Halliburton's injury, and Craig mentioned some that are out now for a lot of, if not all of last year, was that ever anything that Dallas was worried about with Doncic and some of the injuries he had with his calf, et cetera, that could lead to a bad injury?
I never thought of it from that perspective, but I did think of it from the perspective of Luka took his time. He didn't rush back. And maybe that's because it was the regular season and not the playoffs, but he seems like the smartest of all of those guys that had the calf strain because he missed like 5-6 weeks. I mean, I think that I know he got hurt on Christmas Day, and then the trade was in February, I believe. So he took his time and he was able to finish out the season. So I don't know if the Mavs were thinking that there was fear that he could tear his Achilles, but I just think it was smart on him to not rush back.
We didn't ask you about the Magic's big trade as well. Do you think that bringing in Desmond Bane, like that makes them you said the East is pretty open. They're very young and they have like almost seemingly kind of, I don't want to say stumbled, but long years of irrelevance have kind of fallen into this now. Nice young talent, and now they bring in a guy who's a grinder.
Yeah, I think it was definitely worth the swing, even though they gave up a lot of draft capital. And I was actually surprised that he was even like available and on the market. But he fits what they've been missing. They've been missing outside shooting, and they've been looking for that third star to complement Paolo Banchero, that is, and Franz Wagner. And I thought that Orlando was good last year. They just had a situation where they had 2 of their best players miss time with like a weird oblique injury. Like, it's already a unique injury, but having 2 players on the same team miss time with a similar injury, I thought that was pretty rare. But I think Bane helps them out a lot.
So it'll be Flag Day for the Dallas Mavericks. I think everybody is banking on that. And I think I asked you last time, just kind of the fit, but what do you foresee as sort of the mixture there with Flag and melding him into Anthony Davis and eventually Kyrie, and just how all that works? And what will be missing, do you think, from Dallas in terms of what they need to still kind of put together to put this on the proper path for Cooper Flag immediately?
Yeah, point guard play is going to be to me like the biggest hurdle, at least short term, until Kyrie comes back. And then you don't even know how healthy he's going to be when he returns. The part that I can't figure out is who does Dallas start, right? I mean, you figure Klay Thompson has to be in a starting 5. PJ Washington was a huge part of their success when they went to the NBA Finals last year. Anthony Davis wants to play the 4, and Derek Lively's going to play the 5. So with that being said, if you throw Cooper Flag in that lineup, who's the point guard? So I'm trying to figure out who's the person that's the odd man out of the starting group. I imagine Flag is going to start, but I think that he fits in because based off of everything that Nico Harrison said after the Luka Doncic trade, defense, and Flag to me is the best defender in this draft class. But he's got some offensive game too, so I don't want to make it seem like it's one-sided. But that's my concern is who comes off the bench.
Good news is Oklahoma City won a world championship. And because of our coverage of trying to see what was going on, we got to get to know you, Rafael. You've been great. We appreciate it. You're not done with us. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yep. Anytime you want me on, let me know.
Rafael Barlowe, NBA draft consultant and NBA analyst with us